We're back again, as always, not next week, as sometimes usual, with more of the casual gaming news stuff, because it's Friday. Shorter list of things today, because we're relatively caught up. So make sure to watch the next one. That's going to be maybe twice as long as this. So as we're going to just start with, we're just going to get into it. More layoffs everywhere. You know how it is. You know how it be every single week. You know how it be. First up is Krafton Games. Open in the correct tab, please. Thank you. So the creators of Callisto Protocol and Hi-Fi Rush have suffered some layoffs. This is Tom Ivan VGC. So Striking Distance Studios, the developer behind the Callisto Protocol, has been hit with a round of layoffs. The parent company Krafton says it has reduced the size of the California-based studio, but that it remains operational, as you can see here, now that it's bigger. Right? Most of the devs were laid off, wrote former director concept art Jesse Lee, who had been with Striking Distance for almost 6 years. Animation director lost his job. Lots of layoffs. Striking Distance Studios has reduced the size of its team to remain agile, which creates a sustainable environment for the studio at its current stage of development. That was a spokesperson from Krafton who told PC Gamer. Studio remains operational, and these changes will not impact any planned ongoing support. No further changes are planned at this time. Of course, they're going to say that, but it's fine. So, Dead Space creator Glenn Schofield founded Striking Distance in 2019 with the goal of crafting an original narrative experience in the PUBG universe, although the project evolved over time to a sci-fi survival horror game that was no longer tied to the franchise, and the Callisto Protocol came to be with mixed reviews. At least the studio is still alive for now. And it doesn't say any estimated amount, just lots of layoffs. Hopefully we get a more updated number later on. Bossa Game Studio has some layoffs as well. What a small coincidence that the developer behind Surgeon Simulator has layoffs. So Surgeon Simulator studio Bossa Games has announced that it's making an unspecified number of layoffs as part of restructuring efforts. In a statement posted on LinkedIn, studio co-founder and co-CEO Henrik Olafers said the company was the latest to fail to successfully adapt to what he called a fundamental transformation of the games industry, or a failure to fully understand the games industry, I think is more like it. The studio will be scaling back its development teams in order to focus on the upcoming release of Lost Skies, a cooperative survival adventure set on floating islands in the clouds. In our view, this is not a phase, it's a fundamental transformation of the games industry, a reshape of how games are made and by what kinds of teams. The industry of 2 years in the future will not look like the industry of 2 years ago. We've made the painful decision to scale back, focusing on the late-stage production of Lost Skies and its upcoming launch, ensuring the game is successfully released and evolved for its players for the foreseeable future. I don't know if there was anything about Lost Skies recently. I don't remember the last thing about Lost Skies was. I haven't heard this name in a long time. But again, a much smaller studio. Surgeon Simulator, very fun game from a long time ago. People still play it. Maybe we'll see some people play it soon. We'll see. Next is the big one. Many studios, and by many I mean I think it's 3, from WB Games, or WB in general, have been shut down. This is Tom Ivan VGC. Did I do the last one? Yes. Tom Ivan VGC again. So there's a couple follow-ups to this as well. And the original article was on Bloomberg. Jason Schreier, as usual. And I did figure out a way to read these articles on Bloomberg. Not in any illegal way, but Jason Schreier's Blue Sky. He just posts like gifted versions of his articles, which is pretty sick. But the VGC articles there. Warner Brothers Games is closing 3 internal development studios and canceling its Wonder Woman game. That's wild. So Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War studio Monolith Productions is shutting down, with its in-development Wonder Woman game being axed, according to Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier. His sources have also claimed that Warner is closing Multiverses Studio, Player First Games, and mobile-focused studio WB San Diego. And there was a confirmation from WB themselves, because it was just a unconfirmed report that turned into a confirmed report, They issued a statement to Kotaku reporter Ethan Gach. We have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building the best games possible with our key franchises: Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we are closing 3 of our development studios: Monolith, Player First, and Warner Brothers Games San Diego. This is a strategic change in a direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists within them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision as we recognize Monolith's storied history of developing epic fan experiences through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused and excited about getting back to producing high quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world class studios, and getting our games business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. So this is nuts. There's the story behind this from Jason Schreier overall, because there was also a follow-up background story that he mentioned in here. Where is it? I don't know if it's in this one or if it was another one that I saw. So the background story behind this, according to Jason Schreier, who's been following what's been going on at WB for a long time, and everyone, obviously, because Zaslav is CEO currently, obviously everyone's pointing the finger at Zaslav, but he puts the blame on, I think, David Haddad, announced 21 years after release, being rebooted in 2024. Warner Bros. Interactive's president, David Haddad, is to leave his position after 12 years in the division. The company formed in January. Yeah, he says that the onus was on David Haddad, who was at the head of everything. And at the time when all of these games that are currently shutting down, these studios that are shutting down, were pitching ideas, would never make any concrete decisions about most things, kind of like a yes man, and had a yes man team around him. So didn't really care about what they were saying yes to for the most part. Basically just like, hey, keep working on the thing that you're doing. Great job or whatever. Which obviously led to all this. And again, what was the studio? Rocksteady. And the decision to have Rocksteady, who has a history of single player narrative games, for some reason do Suicide Squad, a live service like co-op multiplayer game, thinking that was like the best decision. Obviously it wasn't. But he puts the onus on David Haddad, not so much David Zaslav. Obviously there's a lot of things David Zaslav has done that weren't the best decisions in many people's opinion, but a lot of it he's saying is all David Haddad leaving a shitstorm behind him as he's leaving, as well as a lot of these studios like Monolith specifically. So the leadership group, this is Jason Schreier's Blue Sky post. All right, so this was the leadership group at Monolith on the Middle Earth games. Every single one of these people left in 2021 after Warner canceled their game. Most started new studio with EA. Monolith then began working on Wonder Woman, but it simultaneously had to rebuild its entire leadership. So the director of technical art, vice president, creative director of production, director of technology, director of engineering, vice president, studio head, director of art, all worked on the Middle Earth games and then left. So not only did they have to redo the Wonder Woman project, but they had to basically start from scratch over the years. So he said lots of other folks followed them too. Warner Brothers Games under President David Haddad put Monolith in the impossible situation of having to simultaneously rebuild the studio while starting a new game from scratch. Of course, it didn't work out. They were saying also that, or he was saying also that, Wonder Woman was announced and teased with literally nothing behind it. That no production was going on when it was first announced, and that it was most likely like a shares boosting announcement to try and boost their value without actually putting anything up, because that's a lot of companies do that. Obviously they make some announcements just to boost value. So that's what the like thinking is from the outsider's perspective. So there's a lot going on here behind the scenes, more so than just the headline, obviously, if you look deeper into it. But yeah, so obviously they're doing the They have the Nemesis system, which they said was going to be a reverse version of. I think it's rumored to be a reverse version with compared to the Shadow games, where instead of like enemies, like small like mini bosses remembering you, it was like allies that would remember what you did and like join you or stuff like that. I don't know. And there was another story that said that feature never fully like materialized in the game anyway. So there was maybe this was better that the game was shut down, because it might not have been the best game. It might, again, they had to also add some live service stuff to it too. So that's that one. This is a rough, like, looking, if you guys look into it, there is, I think there was a Kind of Funny Games cast with Jason on it that he really goes deep into it. It's a really good kind of interview storytelling session. But moving on, Assassin's Creed Shadows, this is a quick one. Apparently copies of Assassin's Creed Shadows have leaked and people were streaming it for a while. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. So Ubisoft has said it's aware that a significant number of people have been able to obtain Assassin's Creed Shadows nearly a month ahead of its release, and claimed that any footage being shared online is not representative of the launch game. So last Tuesday, there were reports of multiple copies of the new Assassin's Creed game being sold on auction sites weeks ahead of the game's official March 20 release date. At the time of publishing, multiple users were streaming the game online. Ubisoft called the leaks unfortunate, so they knew about it. Details on the game were leaked earlier in the month. Scans of the art book. So a lot of people were streaming it. None of these streams and VODs are currently up anymore, but there was apparently a lot of people like selling copies of the game. It could have, I think it might have been, it had to be like some sort of shipping error if people were getting physical copies, because like if you're getting the actual jewel case with the disc, like that's a shipping error, right? Because it sounds like a March 20 release, people might have gotten them February 20th if this came out on the 24th, and this came out on the 24th, it was a Monday, so the 17th people were getting them. I don't know, who knows. But I haven't seen any of them myself, because I think everything was taken out by the time I looked into this. Last piece of bigger news, NetEase is not threatening, but planning on shutting down a bunch of studios. Andy Robinson, VGC. So more than a dozen NetEase studios are reportedly at risk, including Nagoshi, Quantic Dream, and Grasshopper. A couple follow-ups to this as well. So numerous NetEase studios, including Quantic Dream, Nagoshi Studio, and Grasshopper, are reportedly at risk of closure after the Chinese publisher decided to divest its international operations. So we talked about this a little bit with the Marvel Rivals studio, right? That got shut down. So it seems like China in general, or NetEase specifically, is trying to pull out of all of the overseas stuff. So previously known for its popular PC MMOs and mobile games, NetEase has expanded significantly in recent years, acquiring and establishing studios from industry veterans in Japan, North America, and Europe. However, as the games industry continues to endure turbulent times, there have been signs that in recent months it could be scaling back its ambitions. So they split from Vancouver-based World Studio, the studio founded with Mass Effect writer Mac Walters in 2023, as well as Jar of Sparks, and then the Marvel Rival stuff, and then the follow-up. Let me see. There's the list of studios here. Yeah, so this is the studio roster of, I think, overseas stuff specifically, I want to say. So Watchdog creator, so there's a lot here. Rebel Wolves, Witcher veterans, Spliced, Anchor Point, Bad Brains. So a lot of stuff here. And then the follow-up, a couple studios have come out and said that they're going to be fine. First one being Anchor Point. This is Tom Ivan, VGC. So former Control lead designers NetEase Studio not affected by any closures. So Anchor Point Studio is still full steam ahead making its debut game. So the CEO and creative director of Anchor Point published a statement on Monday confirming that work on the company's debut game is still full steam ahead. So Anchor Point, so far as we know, fine. Another one came out, I think it was Quantic Dream. Yeah, Tom Ivan, VGC. All right, so Quantic Dream says it's unaffected by NetEase layoffs. On Monday, NetEase Studios, headed by Control lead designer Paul Reese's statement currently not been affected by any closures. A similar statement was released on Tuesday by the CEO of Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain Studios, Quantic Dream. We were deeply saddened to learn about the recent layoffs and studio closures affecting some of the NetEase Group's divisions. Our thoughts are with everyone impacted, and we sincerely hope that they quickly find new opportunities. We are continuing to develop our projects at full pace with several open positions available in both locations. Quantic Dream, so far, we're good. So again, out of the list, 2 so far are confirmed that they're fine. That's not a great percentage. But we'll see what happens. All right, that's it for the bigger stuff. And then we also have to catch up because this is all as of yesterday. So we still need to catch up. Smaller stories. First one, Fable has been delayed until 2026. Unfortunate, but I assume it's going to be a very big game. This was a game studio head Craig Duncan announced the news on the latest Xbox official podcast. So just want to start with really excited about progress, really excited about where Playground are. We previously announced the date for Fable as 2025. We're actually going to give Fable more time, and it's going to ship 2026. While I know that that's not maybe the news people want to hear, what I want to assure people of is that it's definitely worth the wait. One, I have faith it will be, and two, also it better be. Next, so Xbox is saying there's going to be, rumors are they're developing a catalog of AI generative or games using generative AI. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. So announced earlier this week, Microsoft's Muse is a generative AI model that it says can generate game visuals, controller actions, or both. So commenting on Muse in an interview published this week, Nadella compared Muse to the wow moment he said he felt when he first saw other generative AI models such as ChatGPT. According to Nadella, Microsoft is already planning to utilize generative AI in multiple games. It's just very cool. One thing that we wanted to go after was using gameplay data. You can actually generate games that are both consistent and have the ability to generate the diversity of what that game represents, and then are persistent to user mods, right? So that's what it is. So the cool thing is what I'm excited about bringing. We're going to have a catalog of games soon that we'll start using these models, or we're going to train these models to generate and then start playing them. So we did talk about how they were going to be using this to update older games to make them backwards compatible, basically. But when we get into we're going to have them make full games area of this. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that, my dudes. We'll probably not be entertaining those ideas. And then Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick said some crazy shit that not only does he think AI won't lead to job losses, but he believes it could lead to increased employment. Huh, interesting. We'll see what happens. I don't fully like this idea. Next up, there was a bug in Destiny 2 that Bungie said, yeah, we're just gonna leave it. It's fine. This is Chris calling VGC. So there's a bug that in the recent, I think, expansion update where the glaive, every exotic glaive, as well as some of the older class locked swords in the game, can be used by any class. So now any class can be using where is it? It said here, until the update arrived, the Edge of Intent, Edge of Concurrence, and Edge of Action weapons could only be used by warlocks, hunters, and titans respectively, but this has now changed. So every exotic glaive and older class locked ones can be used by any class. And they said, yeah, we're just gonna leave it, it's fine. So after some discussions between team members, we've arrived at a new decision. We're gonna let this ride. A fun example of a bug becoming a feature. So that's pretty funny. I like that a lot. So that's pretty cool that they were like, yeah, have fun. Go on and have fun, instead of like removing a bug or feature that they deem as game breaking or something like that. I like that a lot. Next story, speaking of AI. Call of Duty it's been resurfaced. I mean, this was already something that was public knowledge, but it has been resurfaced that Call of Duty's Steam page confirms generative AI use after months of player speculation. But the disclosure apparently has been there, but more people are just finding it out apparently. While it's not clear to what extent generative AI is used in the development of the games, the Steam page now includes an AI generated content disclosure section, which simply states our team uses generative AI tools to help develop some in-game assets. But where is it? As reported by 80 level at the time, the update included a loading screen showing, so this loading screen, we'll look at it in a second. While the discovery appears to suggest that the disclosure has just happened, in reality, SteamDB's records show that the disclosure was added to the page around a month ago. It's likely people only have just noticed the disclosure due to SteamDB's newly added ability to filter games that disclose the use of generative AI. So this is one of the examples of them saying that is AI generative, which is pretty obvious with the realistic clothes and the not so realistic face and hand. And then like, what is this hand on the right? Like, what is that? This doesn't make any sense. And like the backgrounds never make sense spatially, right? It's hard to really see what's going on here. And like, what is this present? How's this being held? This hand's holding this one, this quote unquote hand. Again, this looks very AI. It's like the hyper realism of the hat is just kind of like a giveaway. It looks gross. All this whole thing looks gross. It looks not good at all. Imagine just someone making an actual piece of art for that. Would be nice. All right, moving forward, the new NVIDIA cards apparently have some defects to them. This is Chris Scully in VGC. So 1 in 200 cards are missing some render units, which is, what's the percentage on that? Like 5%, maybe not. 0.5% is what it is. So last week, users started suggesting that their new RTX 5090's graphics cards were arriving with fewer render output units than they should. So the 5090s should have 176 and we're putting out 168. The 5070 Ti's were supposed to have 96, only had 88. So it's around a 5% performance drop. Even the ones that the tech power up checked the review unit and it confirmed that it was also missing 8 ROPs for that one specifically. After testing Elden Ring running at 4K with maxed out settings, the site found that it affected 5090 was producing an average around 174 frames per second compared to the 185 to 190 on unaffected cards. So it's about a 10 to 15 frames per second missing in the cards, and they acknowledged it, saying that we have identified a rare issue affecting less than 0.5%, 0.5% of the 90s, 90Ds, 5080s, 5070 Ti's, which have one fewer ROP than specified. The average graphical performance impact is 4% with no impact on AI and compute workloads. Affected customers can contact the board manufacturer for a replacement. The production anomaly has been corrected. So be aware that your GPUs might not be performing as highly as they should if you got a new card 50 series. Last of the small news that I have prepared. There's going to be more that we're going to try to catch up on. So this is about player numbers. So more than 40% of all US PS5 and Xbox playtime last month was spent on 10 live service games. This is Chris Scully in BGC. Players are trying fewer new games because of live service. So it's according to Matt Piscatella, Executive Director and Video Game Industry Analyst at Sarcana. In a thread on Blue Sky, Piscatella pointed out that more than 70% of active PS5 and Xbox Series X users in the US played at least one of the top 10 live service games in January. While some of these players might have simply tried the game then moved on to something else, these 10 live service games have been popular enough to command a combined 40% of all playtime spent across the entire both consoles libraries last month. Does it list the 10 games? I don't know if it lists the 10 games. Yeah, it doesn't list the 10 games, what you could tell. But yeah, that's a thick amount. And then you see stories like, again, CEOs, they'll see stories like this and then think, hey, we need to get on the action. Let's make some of these live service games so we can get some of that 40%. And then what happens? It fucking crashes and burns. All right, so let's go to the other stories here. Starting from this one. Just a little fun story. Pal World developers are giving their team the day off to play Monster Hunter Wilds, which came out today. Studio's official X account shared a memo which is being sent to staff, informing them that Friday will be a holiday day. While it doesn't explicitly confirm that the day off is for the release of Monster Hunter Wilds, the memo jokes that some employees have been suggesting in advance that they might be sick on Friday so they can buy and play the game. Regarding February 28th, we have received a series of mysterious reports from many employees that they may feel unwell tomorrow, so the company has decided to institute a special holiday. That's pretty fucking awesome. I like that. What a refreshing treat compared to like the layoffs from the studios that are everywhere. I like that. More places should do that, not just game studios, more places in general. Let me skip the Pokemon stuff for now. A new 2D game based on Terminator 2. This looks pretty sick, actually. Chris calling VGC. Terminator 2D No Fate is coming to all major formats. That's all of the consoles and stuff on September 5th. This is Reef Entertainment. The game will blend iconic scenes from Terminator 2 Judgment Day with original scenarios and will have multiple endings, meaning humanity's fate is yours to decide. There's an announcement trailer, which I haven't looked at yet, so let's watch this. This was released a day ago, this announcement trailer. Let's go. There she is. And this looks so good. Whoa. T2. Oh, let's go. This is so sick. Let's go. Uh-oh. He's here. The truck. This is awesome. Hasta la vista, baby. Whoa. We know what happens. He's naked. He's naked. Oh, the minigun. Let's go. Oh no. Terminator 2D No Fate. This rules. September 5th. I think I want to play this a lot, actually. I really want to play this game. This looks like so much fun. So we'll get into that when the time comes. But yeah, that looks like fun. I like that a lot. Next, we've been playing a lot of Rock Band and stuff. Chris Scully and VGC. There's 2 new guitars coming out that will work with Fortnite Festival and Legacy Rock Band games. Where's Jen's Void? Look at the... I want this blue one so bad. They're Les Pauls. Peripheral maker CRKD is teaming with Gibson to make a new range of guitar controllers. So the Gibson Les Paul guitar controller range features the iconic Les Paul design popular among guitar players. The controller comes in 2 versions, the Encore and Pro editions. The Encore edition comes with standard strum and fret buttons and will cost $110. Jeez. Xbox version costing $120. The Pro edition features advanced fret system with a mechanical fretboard. What is the difference though? Engineered for unmatched precision and responsiveness. Xbox One costing $129. Electronic seemingly mainly designed for Fortnite Festival. All versions also work on PC titles Clone Hero and Yarg. I don't know what Yarg is, but they will also work on Rock Band 4. Who has Rock Band? I have Rock Band 4. That's awesome. I'm gonna check this little video here. Need to find a legend. It's so cool. Oh, they've got more things. Have sensor. What the heck? Mechanical. The Pro Edition only has the mechanical frets. There's a control panel on the back. Do they have the little buttons though? They don't have the little buttons. I want that blue one so bad. It's fine. They don't need the little buttons. I don't really use them anyway. Another cool thing that I want and I might get. When is it supposed to? I don't think there's a release date. Is there a release date? I don't see a release date on here. Hopefully not soon because I need the money to get this. I'm very excited about that. All right, let's go over the Pokemon stuff. So there was a Pokemon, whatever it was, the State of Play or whatever. I forgot what it was called. But Pokemon Champions was announced for Nintendo Switch and mobile. So the new battle-focused game is being developed by Pokemon Works. Title will be focused on Pokemon battles. You know from the Pokemon games, we're aiming for these core style battles to be enjoyed by more people. Be handled by Game Freak, and development will be handled by Pokemon Works. Connect to Pokemon Home and will be compatible with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's check the little trailer here. These little kids. I remember doing that. Not that though. I would play by myself. No one's sweating that much playing a Pokemon battle back then. Pokemon Stadium. Whoa. Yeah, let's go. DS. Jenga. And then a plane? Huh? Do it on your phone. Anywhere you want. Not actual gameplay footage. Just so you know. Oh, it's cross-compatible? That's pretty cool. Or crossplay. Effects added, not actual gameplay footage. Whoa, he got blasted. They make it way more hype than it actually will be. This is so funny. This is super hype, but it's like, it's not gonna be like that. Well, fire's weak to water, so like that doesn't make any sense. In development. That's cool. I'm sure some people will play that. Next up, Pokemon Legends ZA trailer details new mechanics, but no release date yet still. Probably waiting for the Switch 2, I would assume. Even though I think this is going to be a Switch game, they said, allegedly. So Pokemon Presents is what it was. The second game in the Pokemon Legends spin-off series, but released later this year. With the Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile starter Pokemon. Hell yeah. Same catching mechanics as Pokemon Legends Arceus, AZ, and Float from Pokemon X and Y will return as an NPC. Huh? Let's watch the trailer. I haven't actually looked at any of the trailers. I've only read some of the stuff. Not actual gameplay footage. Way more city than Arceus for sure. It looks like it's only city. It's so weird just watching Pokemon run around in a city, honestly. Just like living their lives. It's gonna be hard to not pick Big Pig, but like that Totodile, he's awesome. You can go on the roofs and then do something where you can not fall and die. Well, Totodile wins, obviously. Oh, they're moving around. That's crazy. A wristband? What does that do? Does that do like a mega? It gives them the pizza power? The power of Za? Uh-huh. This looks like aesthetically, this looks like shit. But I assume will be fun. I really liked Arceus a lot. No release. There's like a Rotom teaser here. Hello? Why can't it look like this? Make the game look like this. There's a promotion match announcement. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means at all. So that's a fun trailer. Again, it doesn't look great aesthetically. Hopefully it runs better than the last two games. And then the first look at the gameplay. A lot of screenshots here. Oh, this is Jordan Midler VGC. So we've got just little guys everywhere. Just a bunch of little guys. A bunch of trash in the alleyway. Makes a lot of sense, I guess. Just like, why are they just living in the street? Is the Pokemon just living in the streets? Looks like a lot of yap. This guy's from another game. The guy in the middle. I feel like he's from another. Is he from the first one? Vinny and Jet. Wild Zones. It's just it's the street. Why aren't they in the street? It's so silly. This is pretty similar game. I mean, it does look better than Arceus, I guess. Not great though. There's a hippo on a roof here. There's a lot happening, kind of. They are mega evolutions. When a trainer's keystone resonates with the mega stone held by their Pokemon, it'll unlock a new level of power. Okay. What the fuck is this little glob? I would like to see more, honestly. And I would like to try it to see if it plays like shit. But that's basically it for today's or this week's casual gaming news. There is one more breaking story that I have here. Twitch.tv's very own Colin M. Parker is quoted saying, "Games are fun?" ? That's the quote. Breaking news. You'll have to figure out the context yourselves. But that's it for today. Thanks to everyone that hung out for casual gaming news this week. Slightly shorter than the previous couple. We'll see, hopefully. I'm going to try my hardest to have this up tomorrow. ish Sunday. I have to actually edit this tonight because I won't have time. Or maybe I can do this. I might have this up on Tuesday. Because I can maybe edit this on Monday. Maybe. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you again, everyone that hung out for gaming news. Make sure to check out the links and the VODs. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok. Probably start that again next month. That's going to be it. No gaming news next week. Like I said, I will be out of town. No streams in general next week for the most part. Maybe Monday. We'll see. But definitely no news. But thanks again.